Hello, folks, and welcome to Captain Rutlidge 10-year Q&A live stream special. That's a mouthful. Hope everybody out there is having a nice Labor Day. Anyhow, I got your questions from the previous video right here on this handy-dandy piece of paper, and I'll be going through them really quick. If any of you out there have any further questions, feel free to post them in the chat log, and I'll probably get to them after I get through these right here. Okay, so without further ado, let's get started. So first question is going to be coming from Vinny Delibero. Now, Vinny asks, can you do a review of the puzzle place on your show, This is Public Broadcasting? Usually for what I do for This is Public Broadcasting, I sometimes have in mind at least 3 months ahead of time what episode I'm going to do, say, like this coming September, I sort of had a plan to do Xavier Riddle in the Secret Museum. As for the puzzle place, I've recently started watching a few episodes, and what I can say is it's a very, very good TV series for PBS Kids. I enjoy the puppeteers. Strangely enough, two of the main puppeteers are probably better known for Bear in the Big Blue House and Rosita from Sesame Street. From what I've seen of the show, it's, like I said, very enjoyable. I sometimes repeat myself when I'm going ad lib, but just bear with me. From what I've seen, basic premise for the show, for those who don't know, it's a group of kids from around the United States who gather in a small area known as the puzzle place. And also the puzzle place's pets, a dog named Nuzzle, cat named Sizzle. And from watching the show, it's very well done. In fact, I wish that more shows on public broadcasting could be done this way. The whole main group of kids is very supportive of each other, even though there might be a few disagreements now and then. You can tell that they are all very good, supportive friends. And much like Mr. Rogers or Sesame Street, they sometimes go into slightly tougher subject matter like bullying or depression. And in fact, there was even an episode that said, even though you're a boy, it's okay to cry, which is a pretty good message, I think. So, but when I do a review of the puzzle place, I'll have to see how it works out with the schedule. Now, next question comes from Enderplant 2007, and Enderplant asks, which era would you prefer to live in, the Georgian era or the Victorian era? Seems we have electricity, we have proper medical education, we have proper communication. But if I could go back to any era for a day, I'd probably like either the Georgian or Victorian. I think probably visit the Victorian era first. After that, I'll probably go to the Georgian era. One era I'd really like to visit would be the Roaring '20s, just for a day. So, and next up, we have a whole string of questions from Josh Productions 07. First of his questions is, will you ever do a public broadcasting video on or Arthur or any show acquired by PBS? Well, I've already done episodes on Arthur. I like to dedicate March, as it is Mark Brown's birthday, to doing videos of Arthur. Thomas, maybe I might do Thomas, and any show acquired by PBS. I think he's talking about the hit entertainment programs like Bob the Builder or Barney. Again, like with Puzzle Place, I have to boost. Yeah, a little while ago on Twitter, I found that somebody posted a small rundown of Arthur episodes coming up for season 25, including the Thanksgiving special. And yeah, well, Arthur's had a good run. It's been around as long as I've been around, so. To end at season 25 with severe downgrades ever since the show's premiere in 1996. I think it's a good time to end the series off before it goes to really low note. Next one. Thoughts on other hit entertainment shows besides Thomas? Well, let's see here. Well, Fireman Sam, first off. The original stop motion era was good. CG era, irritating. Then Bob the Builder, likewise, original stop motion, good. CGI era, irritating. Then what other hit entertainment shows are there? Well, I think Barney's produced by Hit Entertainment. Barney. Those are my thoughts. Not many shows that come to mind, but if any of you out there know any other hit entertainment shows, just post them in the chat log. I'll get to them. Okay, so next up, UK dubs or US dubs? I kind of have a soft spot for the UK dubs. You know, whether Bob the Builder or Thomas and Friends. Next up, what do you use to edit videos? So to edit videos, ever since high school, I've used iMovie since it's free and it was available on my Mac. It's probably not the most ideal video editing software to use, but it works well for me, you know. So next up, did you actually animate those Lego videos? I think he's talking about some of the videos I posted on my 10-year retrospect video. Yes, I did actually animate those Lego videos. See, back in high school, I discovered a way to use Lego Digital Designer, which is a free Lego design program manufactured by the Lego company, which you can use to design sets. You can also take pictures of those sets, and I discovered that using some tools within Lego Digital Designer itself, I could make small animated films. So one of the first films I did was for a project called The Skeleton Dance, which pretty insane. Then I did a small series called Adventures of Rifleman Bill, which I'm pretty embarrassed by nowadays due to the terrible stories and the terrible animation. And then there was also a small animated animated music video I did for Gabriel Fauré's Sicilienne, which even though it's not good, I still have a soft spot for it. Yeah, like last one, favorite Thomas character. Sheesh. I think I'll have to go with Edward on that one. And last one, railway series or TV series? Well, it really comes down to apples and oranges there. See, I like the stories of the railway series. However, I still do have a soft spot for the TV series. If you'll excuse me for 1 minute. I've got this is the videotape that actually introduced me to Thomas and Friends when I was a kid. Yeah, you can see it's very well loved. You know, it's 10 years of Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends. I was about 3 years old when my grandmother got it for me, and I've watched it almost constantly when I was a kid. So my mother actually got me a new one. But it's a really fun look, and some of the stories in here: Thomas and Bertie's Great Race, Old Iron, Trouble with Mud, Terrence, Percy's Ghostly Trick, Mavis, Henry and the Elephant, Percy's Promise, James Goes Buzz Buzz, and let's see. Most of those episodes are some of my favorites of the whole series. But getting back to the question of railway series or TV series, again, I just like both. But if I was forced to choose, I'll probably go with the railway series. It's a tough choice, but it's mine. So I see we got some more new people in the live stream, so feel free to say hello in the chat log, and we'll get back to our Q&A questions. So next one comes from Declan Carey, and Declan asks, which PBS member station will you highlight next in your next review for a PBS program? Well, that's a good question, and the answer is I don't know. You see, when I do the PBS member spotlight, I completely honestly draw the station at random out of my pretty straw hat. After which, during video editing, I do a small write-up on the station and record voiceover and do all that jazz. So, but to be honest, I don't know what station I draw for each video, so I'm usually unprepared for that. But if you want to know, for the next review, Xavier Riddle, which is going to be uploaded next Tuesday, the station's going to be Pioneer PBS out of Minnesota. So next question comes from Sihirbaz Khan 55, very nice name, and he has 5 questions. So his first question is, worst PBS Kids show? Booba. I don't know what they were thinking when they acquired it from Ragdoll Productions, but yeah. So question 2, you are head of PBS from 1990 until 2020. What 5 shows would you greenlight and what shows would you not greenlight? You may pick anime. Well, I myself am not a big fan of anime, but from 1999 to 2020, what 5 shows would I greenlight? Well, let's see. I would have probably greenlit a few more history programs, so I'd probably do another Carmen Sandiego history series for number 1. Number 2, I'd probably greenlight definitely Arthur at greenlight. Then I'd probably do some of the Thomas and Friends episodes as standalones as opposed to the Shining Time Station or Mr. Conductor stories. Then let's see. 2 left. What 2 would I choose? I'd probably greenlight a sequel to Redwall, the original Redwall series, after Martin the Warrior. Probably do Moth's Flower. And the final one, choose wisely. Possibly a series similar to Dragon Tales. Yeah, that's what I choose. So. Question 3, should KPBS, KOCE, KCET, and the other Southern California PBS stations unite into one regional network like Wyoming PBS? PBS California would be its name. Well, I don't know too much about station politics, but if they're doing fine on their own, I'd say no big deal. Again, I don't know the station politics in Southern California. Question 4, Kirk or Picard? I've ever only watched 1 episode of Star Trek with Captain Kirk, which was The Trouble with Tribbles. Well, I've probably lost a few viewers with that question. And question 5, best Beatles album? I don't know too much about the Beatles discography. I enjoy their music. Best album? I enjoy Hard Day's Night, so I guess I'd do that one. So next up, we got from Amelia K. And Amelia asks, do you think that Liberty's Kids is more of a teen sitcom wannabe series than an educational historical fiction series? No. If it wanted to be a teen sitcom wannabe series, it would have ignored some people like Sybil Ludington or Benedict Arnold and just had James and Sarah having an on-again, off-again relationship. And yeah, so, well, again, Liberty's Kids is one of my favorite shows that ever aired on PBS, even though it's pretty terrible animation for the most part. But I'd say it's still it's an okay educational historical fiction series aside instead of a teen sitcom wannabe. So next up comes from Greg Moeller, my old English teacher, and he asks, what is the most overrated PBS show and what is the most underrated or unappreciated show in your opinion? Well, with PBS, mostly I find that a lot of the shows are more underrated or underappreciated than overrated. If there was ever an overrated PBS Kids show, I think the closest thing would have to be Arthur. I'm not saying that Arthur's terrible. I just think sometimes it gets a little too much praise at times. As for underrated or underappreciated, well, for grown-up programming, Nova Science Now was fairly unappreciated. It's essentially a bunch of small Nova segments interspliced together with introductions from Neil deGrasse Tyson. So, as for underrated PBS Kids, I'd probably do Puzzle Place and what other ones? And some of the Bookworm Bunch TV shows. Now then, it looks like our final group of questions come from Tyler Raxtis. And Tyler asks, what other programs do you think you'll also talk about related to PBS? So I assume he means shows that didn't air on PBS but are related. Well, I'd like to do sometimes some British children's programming episodes, say like Postman Pat or Fireman Sam or Horrible Histories, and also maybe some of the programming that aired on the Cubo, a TV channel that was originally part of the NBC network, and some of the other Saturday morning blocks that were on CBS or ABC, and especially Discovery Kids. In fact, I found out a little while ago that one of the shows on Discovery Kids, Time Warp Trio, was actually produced by WGBH Boston, even though it never actually aired on WGBH itself. I just thought that was cool. Next up, since you started a book versus episodes for Redwall, would you do one for Arthur, Berenstain Bears, Martha Speaks, Curious George, George Shrinks sometimes? Well, it all depends, really, on how much free time I have on my hands. But would I do one for Arthur? Well, probably not. No. I mean, a lot of the Arthur shows are their own thing. And I know there were some chapter books released based off the Arthur TV show, but I don't think I'll do any book versus episodes for Arthur. The Berenstain Bears, really the same story, although I found that there were a few episodes of that were made into chapter books, but again, probably not. Martha Speaks, I think there were only ever 2 or 3 Martha Speaks books, including the original, and I think only 2 of those were ever made for TV, and so probably not. Curious George, again, only about 3 books of the whole Curious George series written by Margaret and H.A. Ray were ever adapted for television, so I don't know. That's all George Shrinks. I actually looked through the original George Shrinks book written by William Joyce, and yeah, there's nothing to compare there. So, next up, do you wish someday you went to visit some of the real-life railways that were the basis for the railway series / Thomas and Friends? Well, actually, I have visited one of the railways, which was the Bluebell line in West Sussex. It's a beautiful railway, beautiful steam locomotives, and I'd like to go there again sometime. But as for the other railways like Tal Flynn or the Ravenglass and Eskdale, maybe. I just need to get the cash in. And this virus stuff needs to go away. And final question from Tyler. Who influenced you to start reviewing? Well, I'd say there were a number of things. Probably one of the main influences was the nostalgia critic Doug Walker, even though nowadays he's been revealed to be an absolute jerk. But he was probably one of the main influences. Then also there was Lindsay Ellis, who had a more avant-garde approach compared to Doug Walker's for reviews, whose format I probably follow the most, other than for those one-a-year reviews, say like for Christmas episodes or Arthur's Missing Pal. Then also there are others out there like Phalis or Jeffrey Kitch or Kyle Colgren, who were also pretty good influences on me. Yeah, so those are all the questions that I have. I'd like to thank everyone for submitting their questions. And if any of you out there watching have any questions, just feel free to post them into the chat log. And going to the big archive TFE, hello there. So I'll just be here around a little while longer. If any of you want to chat, just shoot the breeze and whatnot. Actually, who's all on right now? I wonder if I can see. Well, if there aren't many people, I think I might just call it quits for now. I'd like to thank everyone for submitting their questions today. I'd like to thank everyone for watching. And again, next Tuesday will be the next episode of This is Public Broadcasting, the season 4 premiere, which will be about Xavier Riddle and the Secret Museum.